5, 6, 7, 8. It's a mess. Oh, it's a mess.
Hello, everybody, and
Oh, it's a
welcome to the
mess.
podcast. It's a
Oh,
mess,
it's a
sis. So, what
mess.
exactly is a mess?
Oh,
A
it's a
mess is a
mess.
situation or a state of
Oh,
affairs
it's a
that is
mess.
confused or full of difficulties.
It's a
The
mess.
mess is when things don't go
Oh,
the
it's
way
a
you plan.
mess.
It is when you have to go off script,
5,
improvise,
6,
ad
7,
lib, sit
8.
through the
It's a
awkwardness,
mess.
and breathe through the pain until you
Oh,
come
it's a
out on the other
mess.
side. Because you will come out
It's a
on the other
mess.
side. It is everything that makes
Oh,
life
it's a
interesting
mess.
and transformative. It is
Oh,
what
it's
we
a
are here to do.
mess.
It is how we learn how
Oh, it's
to
a
be.
mess.
So, join us as we
Oh, it's a
dive into this
mess.
week's mess.
Oh, it's a mess. Oh. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. It's a mess, sis. I'm Jessica, and I am a mess. And I'm working every day to discover who I am underneath that mess. I am a co host on this, my favorite podcast. I am a writer, a singer, and I'm doing it all while living in LA and figuring shit out. I've had plenty of strategies about how things would go, but my life had other plans. So I'm wading through this mess with y'all, one thought provoking topic at a time.
All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Rena. I'm your other host, and I'm just out here living. I currently reside in the DMV. I'm a content producer, writer, feeler, thinker. I just like making things and being creative. I've been on my own personal self development journey for the past few years and now seek an outlet to share what I've learned, what I've struggled with, and what I continue to absorb because I believe that not only can it help myself, but it can help others who resonate with my story and my experiences. I'm also working to develop my vision and purpose in life, which I've narrowed down to talking and writing and loving on people while getting paid for it. And that is what I am doing.
That's dope. I love
Yeah.
that. So that's a little bit about us. And this episode is actually episode 31. And we are,
Oh, actually, it's episode 32. My bad.
oh, wow.
It's a
Okay.
mess, y'all.
It's a mess, y'all. Okay, we're on episode 32. Just kidding. Um, and that is titled, What About Your Friends? What
Yeah.
About Your Friends? I
Hey,
know this song, finally. Rena
what?
always be having obscure song titles, and I'd be like, I don't know that one. I know this one though. So that's what we're going to delve into today. What about your friends? But before we get into that, we have a little segment called What's the Mess? So I'll ask Rena, what is your mess?
Oh, I get to go first. I feel so privileged.
You should.
So, what is my mess? Ignoring all of that.
Oh, wow.
Um, the mess is I'm busy. I'm busy.
Okay, booked and busy.
Right. I've overbooked myself somewhat, but I think it's kind of calming down. I start my internship tomorrow. So I'm excited
Nice.
for that. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. That's going to be interesting. Um,
Mhm.
and I have a short story that's due at 11:59 p.m. tonight. So I'm working on that. Um,
Is it nearing to be done?
it's close. It's close.
Okay.
I think I can make it. I can.
Is there a word count?
Yeah, 2,500 words,
How
and
many words you got?
I have like 1,700. My issue isn't making the word count. Well, no, my issue is making the word count.
Not
Having
going
two.
over.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So I'm kind of like, ooh, I have less than
You
like
are verbose. Hmm.
I am. It's a talent of mine, you
I
know?
think so too. That's dope.
Yeah. So I got to figure that out. I may have to change the story. It's going to get done. Something's going to get
Oh
submitted
my God.
59. You know,
You about to change the whole story?
I
Lord.
like just like the second half of it. Like the first
Okay.
half, I'm pretty good on. Like I'm just trying to figure some things out with it. Uh, so yeah, I just feel like I'm taking care of myself better and I'm moving in the direction of my joy. I'm trying new things. I'm, taking advantage of new opportunities. I'm writing more. I'm doing this music production class. I'm kind of behind on that, but like I've learned a lot. I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna catch up. That's next week. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm just really focusing on me and learning things about myself and what truly brings me joy, and I feel like I'm feeling better, I'm looking better, like shit that wasn't working is now like working, like my lower back is looser. It's crazy. Like
Okay, loose low back. Let that back loose, huh?
Oh, oh, please.
Okay.
Like there's things like just functioning wise. I'm like, okay. I'm like, my flexibility's coming back. I'm like, okay, I'm loosening up. I'm like not as rigid as I once was.
Yeah.
Noticing these things about me. So I'm just, reveling in that.
That's fucking dope. That's really incredible. I'm happy to hear that.
All right, thank
Especially
you.
the loose low back, let that thing shake. But yeah, no, I think that's really incredible, and I'm really happy that your mess doesn't sound so messy. It sounds really great, actually.
Yeah, because not all mess is right.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, what about you?
Okay, so in the same spirit of what you were saying, I feel like my mess is very similar. In the fact that I'm booked and busy. I feel like I need an assistant,
Oh
and
no.
I'm not even as busy as I want to be. It's
Ooh.
all good things, you know. I don't know if I mentioned on the actual podcast. I know I said on the after podcast, but I got a leading role in a musical that I auditioned for last year. It's called Flawed, the musical, Flawed. If you want to follow us on YouTube. Um, so yeah, I'm really busy, rehearsals and all that kind of stuff. And then I have this podcast. And then I've also been offered a position as like an event coordinator for a company out here, plus maintaining my friendships with family and friends, hence our topic. But all in all, I'm so blessed and grateful for all the things that are being bestowed upon me right now. I can't even imagine last year where I am right now, and it's really incredible. Um, but for real, I do need an assistant to keep all my dates together. Like, seriously, today I am booked damn near all day. Once I'm done recording this, something right after that for an hour, then 2 hours of something else. And it's like, I might even try to get a little work in. Like, I don't know. So if you want to intern for your girl, holla at me. Holla.
Yes.
Slide in my
Yes.
DMs. Okay,
Yes.
I'm really just kidding because I can't pay you. And I feel like everybody should be paid for their work. But
No, that's great.
when I get some coinage, please believe I'm gonna have me somebody helping me with these dates because I always wanted to be better about having like a calendar. I would buy calendars so much. Like I would buy them and I would have this organized and be so beautiful. I love bound things, books and notebooks and diaries. I love them. But I don't utilize them in a way that I feel warrants me buying them as much. So that's the thing that I've had to process. But I would love to be so organized and have all my dates together. And I don't know. I'm recognizing now that the amount of things that I have going on, I can't just store in my head. That has been something I've been able to do for most of my life. I can just keep everything in there and just, it's fine. But now, child, I'm doing this and this
Uh-uh.
and this and this and this and this, and that ain't even everything I'm trying to do. So, but yeah, that's really my mess. It's all good things. It's all blessings, and I'm grateful. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out my scheduling things and whatnot.
Or figure out how to use a planner or calendar or something.
Or that. I could be a grown up. I just never know. I have this anxiety about it. I'll be honest, because I've always bought them with the intention. It's kind of like the resolution thing. Like this year, I'm really gonna do great. I'm gonna buy this, and for like 3 weeks, I'll have my shit filled out. It'll be filled the fuck out, and then it don't be. So I don't know. I'm doing a better job of using my phone's calendar
Okay.
to set things. So that's like a start. So
Okay.
once that is like a habit, then I will reward myself with like a bound calendar that I
Okay.
write in, and it's very pretty and organized and just the aesthetic that I'm looking for in life. But yeah, yeah. That's it. That's my mess.
Well, I love that mess. That sounds
Hey,
amazing.
hey.
And I know you're going to get it together. It seems like you already have it together. I can't believe you try to remember all that in your head. Like that's a lot. I feel like you're always doing a lot.
I am, but I like it though. I mean, I need that kind of energy in my life. If I
No.
don't do too much, I don't feel as and we kind of talked about this with the rest episode.
Mhm.
So doing a lot just feels right. you know?
No, I'm with you. I love being busy. That's why I'm like
Yeah.
excited. When I wasn't busy, I was like, what is going on? I feel like I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's
So,
needed. It is needed, and we talked about that and all that. But yeah, a bitch like to be booked and busy out here, and I'm getting paid for a lot of this shit. Ooh, baby, run me my coins.
oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay, so on to the topic.
Uh-huh.
We want to talk about why we're doing this topic, and I don't know. Would you like me to go first? Or would you like to go first?
Well, I can just, start. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, I will. You know what? No, you go first. I know that took a really long
Wow,
time. No,
that
I
was a
know
process.
it was. You go first.
Okay.
I'm gonna take your lead
um,
on this one. You go first.
okay, okay. So this topic is we thought about this topic because Valentine's Day is nearly upon us, and that day is usually it usually brings about notions of romantic love, which I must say is beautiful, and I love seeing people revel in their romantic love on that day. It's like my favorite to see people being all cutesy and posting their person and what they got and all that. I think it's beautiful.
Hmm.
But this time I wanted to focus on platonic love because I don't think it gets enough attention and or credit because in actuality you will have probably more platonic love in your life than romantic love, and I'd like to explore how to maintain that in friendships. What about you? Why did you agree to this topic?
When you brought it up, because this is Jess's topic, and I loved it. I agree with you. I feel like, Valentine's Day is coming up, and romantic love is broadcast everywhere. And you know, platonic love was just not really mentioned. I don't think I've ever
Mhm.
really taken time to really think about it until this episode came up. So, I feel like I took it for granted. I don't give it enough thought. I don't give it enough credit. So I was excited to do this topic.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And we hope that you guys enjoy listening and following along and digging this topic down for yourself. Speaking of, what is the agenda for this episode, Rena?
All right. So here's the dick. Which stands for define, impact, and cope. So, this episode, we will provide our personal definitions of platonic love and how to maintain those friendships. Then we will discuss the impact of platonic love and friendships in our lives. And lastly, we talk about how we cope with our definitions and the impact of platonic love slash friendships in our lives. I also want to let you know that we made each section clearly known. So feel free to pause throughout the sections to give yourself time to answer. So you'll hear either Jess or I say, we're at the definition, we're defining, or, impact, or we're at the code. And this is not something you have to do, but I mean, I feel like this is what our format is all about. It's about you being able to interact from home. So, if you feel compelled, feel free to jot down your answers, your thoughts. Just do what feels right for you.
Lovely.
All right.
So, moving right along, we are now to the definition. And if you're following along, this is where you can define it for yourself. But for me, I wanted to know what exactly platonic love is. So to Google, I went. And so Google defines it as a special emotional and spiritual relationship between two people who love and admire one another because of common interest, a spiritual connection, and similar worldviews. And I agree with how they've laid it out. I am honestly forever grateful to my friends I have made in this lifetime. Like, I can't express enough how grateful I am for the people in my life who support me, who love me, who build me up, who encourage me, who chastise me, who give me criticisms. All of those things are a part of the beautiful friendships that I've made, and because of the amount of love I have been given from them. Um, to be honest, it has saved my life many times. Um, and it really feels so incredible to meet somebody who has absolutely no obligation to love you, but then they do anyway. Um, there are no familial ties or romantic overtures, just this commonality and wish for your greatest good. So, how do you maintain that in your friendships? Um, I think it's especially difficult if you're distant from the folks that you love, other states or countries, even. And so, for me, maintaining love in any kind of relationship, but especially platonic love and platonic relationships, is communication. So, for me, the key to maintaining those is communication. What about for you? How do you define it and all that jazz?
Okay. Um, okay, so my definition is pretty much, I feel like, very similar to yours.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I had to go about it was I had to break down like platonic, and then I had to break down love, and I actually had to Google it,
Oh,
which
snap! Look at you.
I
Welcome to the dark
know,
side.
I
Welcome to the
know.
dark side.
Like I had like a major just like glitch in my brain for some reason when it came to platonic love, because I'm like, what, like really, what is the difference? Like, what is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Um, so platonic, I guess it means, like friendly, not romantic. Um, and then love, that's what I had to Google.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been struggling with the definition of love for years. So what I came
Okay.
up with is that I think love is what feels good in your spirit, and it looks different for everyone.
Mm.
So if you combine those two definitions that I have, I feel like platonic love is that steady, feel good, often taken for granted, emotional slash spiritual connection with another person.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Yeah. And then in thinking kind of further about it, I also mirrored what you said about like it kind of being more unconditional
Yeah.
than familial love or romantic love, because I feel like there are less expectations when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
platonic relationships,
Yeah.
because some people's identities aren't wrapped up in your life. For example,
Mm-hmm.
your parents can wonder if you got that tramp stamp because your father wasn't around enough.
Oh, wow.
Or your partner, your romantic partner, can push you or influence you towards a career that you don't necessarily identify with because they feel like it would give the image or the finances that they desire.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that's just all codependency, as that's what it is. But I feel like with platonic love, it's like I choose you because I enjoy you.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, and then when I started thinking about my platonic friendships and what I get from them, and when I look at it that way, I can say that I get joy and support, community, learning, growth, opportunity. So I feel like that is what platonic love is. It's this emotional and spiritual connection. You choose each other so that because you enjoy each other, you want to support each other, you want to have community, you want to learn, you want to grow, and you want to just like, help each other get through life.
Yeah.
And when it comes to maintaining platonic love, that,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, like when I say this topic just threw me, it just tossed me away. I feel like the way to maintain relationships is self-love.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I'm trying to put it together. I feel like to maintain a platonic love requires you to maintain self-love. So I feel like if you enter any relationship without love of self, you're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up to seek others' approval,
Yeah.
and to depend on other people. I don't think you have to maintain anyone but yourself. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and you can use your communication skills. You can be mindful. You can be caring, generous, loving, all of those things towards your friends. But can you genuinely do that if you haven't practiced with self first?
Okay. I vibe
So
with that.
yeah, so that's where I'm coming from with it. That's what I
Okay.
managed to piece together.
Okay. Okay. So you're saying that in order to maintain any form of relationship, platonic, romantic, or otherwise, you need to have maintained a relationship with yourself, love yourself, and understand that before you can give that to someone else. Is that what I'm gathering?
Yes.
Okay. I vibe with it. I vibe with it.
Okay.
Okay. So then is there anything else? Was that all for your
No, that's
definition?
it for now. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, then now we shall move on to the impact of this on our lives. So, what is the impact for me of communication being the foundation of these relationships? Well, it's very similar to what Rena just said. I had to really assess who I am honestly as far as communication. So, most people who know me, anybody who's my friend, they already know this, that I hate the phone. Full stop. Hate it. It is a necessary evil to communicate, but if I could just have all the people I love in one place, I would chuck this shit away and never use it again. Like, I really would. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I hate it.
Wow.
I hate it.
Wow.
But that isn't the world we live in. And most of my friends live on the other side of the country or in the middle, whatever. Either way, y'all get me. My people aren't close. So I don't want the physical distance to create spiritual and emotional distance. So I do what I can to close that divide. My favorite way to be in relation to my people is in person. So I travel a lot. I bop around this country quite a bit. Just next week, I'll be in Denver seeing my peeps. Shout out to
Hey.
y'all. I also write the occasional letter. It's something I'm trying to do more and more, but I've certainly been known to pen a letter or two. And lastly, the phone. So I like to heart react and like things on the interwebs to let people know that I'm thinking about them. I feel like because I've been very open about my communication style, that my friends and family see and appreciate the effort that I do give. And we've built up such a rapport with one another that if I'm falling short, they can tell me and I'll step my pussy up. You know what I mean? I'll do a little better. If I know that is a friend who needs to talk to me more frequently than not, I will be available for that. If I have a friend that's okay with me talking to them every 2 months and we talk for 2 hours, I will do that. I will devote those 2 hours and say, you know what, I got you. If I have a friend that's okay with the heart reacts and they still feel the love, then that's what I do. I just try to be very open and mindful about what people need and also what I need. So I think the impact is that maintaining any relationship takes work, and platonic love is no different. It takes energy and dedication, and most importantly, open communication. And I try to be open to being communicated with and to communicating with my people. So that's the impact for me.
Okay. Okay. It's all about communication for you.
Yeah.
I am just kind of like, wow, you would rather write a letter before picking up the phone. Like, I mean, I know you don't like the phone, and I don't know if it's because you have an Android. No, I'm just kidding. I love Android.
Wow! Really? The Android hate? Oh my God. I cannot with you. Ew!
But
Lord.
I'm like, wow. Okay, so I'm gonna need you to write me a letter, and then I can wait 3 months to get it. Like it's the Oregon Trail.
Wow, because mail takes that long. Get it together. It
The
doesn't take
post
that long.
office has been backed up. I don't know if they've caught up yet, but they've been lagging. So I'm just
It'd be
saying.
about a week.
Okay, we gonna see. We gonna see. You gonna write this
You
letter?
you'll see, maybe. It just happens. It's not a thing that it's not a schedule.
I
And that's the
demand
thing
a
too.
letter.
And you won't get one. Anything don't demand shit from me now. No, I'm just playing. But no, this
No,
is
you're
that
right. Don't
communication.
demand shit.
This is the communication that I'm talking about. I have to tell my friend. And no, it's just like a surprise thing. Like, hey, I've been thinking about you. I went on like a sabbatical like 2 years ago. I say sabbatical like I was doing something really, but I traveled the country like
I say sabbatical like I was actually doing something. I was just a nomad. Like
No, I really was a nomad, and I really was doing something. There was no big huge thing, but it was very much a self discovery journey, and I was like in a different state every month for like 6 months. And during that time, I bought some stationery, and I just wrote to my friends, and I told them what they meant to me and how grateful I was for them, and I wrote my niece and nephews, and like I like to maintain that level of intimacy that that I was thinking about you. I sat down and I took the time to write to you in my best cursive, which is not that great, but it was a thought. It's the thought. And I remember also my mom used to get letters from her friends, and I thought that was the coolest fucking thing in the world. I was like, wow. And also growing up, We didn't keep a phone. My mom was not a huge fan of like house phones. So y'all know that was way back in the day. So we didn't keep a house phone. So any communication that I have with my friends, it would have to be letters, or it would be whenever I get to you. You know, my love is not lost. So for me, I didn't grow up with this constant communication with the people that I love, but the love was still there. You know, we lived as me and my brothers, my siblings, my mom, dad, siblings, we moved to a whole nother state from my whole family. So then when we got to see them, that was really beautiful. It's like we got to travel to see them, or they came to see us. And so, you know, there's no love lost in the time from when I saw you last, when I communicated to you last till now. And so that's kind of been my feeling as I've grown up. So I don't know, just the whole of it. This feels very romantic too, and not in like a romantic sense of like I romance you, but it's just very. I don't know. It's just something very sweet about it, and I would love to receive letters. And so I do what I want sometimes to the people that I love. So I write letters and I do the things, and so yeah,
See, that's what I'm talking about, the self-love. Like,
yeah,
so I know, I think that's dope. That is dope and really intimate. And it's just leaving me thinking, I'm like, wow, like that is really thoughtful.
hmm,
I'm like, huh,
yeah.
huh.
It's kind of dope. And people feel so loved. Like, if I could tell you how much it meant to these people, or what they told me, I'm telling you, like, I
No,
knew. But you know what I mean? You can just feel how grateful someone is to be thought about in that way. Because in this time frame of like instant communication, who's going to take the time to write a letter?
right. If somebody took the
Jessica
time to
will.
pin me, Jessica will. If somebody took the time to pin me a letter in cursive, I think I would be like, wow, I must mean a lot to this person. So
Mhm.
I definitely get it. I definitely
Yeah.
get that. And I never thought about doing that for anybody.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
mean,
wow, ugh.
but I mean, it just depends
I
on
mean,
what your communication style is, and that's
right.
what I'm basically getting at. Like, I know that there are people that can sit and chit chat with their best friends on the phone. They talk 2 and 3 times a week, and this and that and the third, and that's fine if that's what y'all's communication style is. If you and your best friend don't talk, but for once every 6 months, but when you do, the love is there, and you're catching up on everything, the drama, the bullshit, the love, all the stuff for this previous 6 months, and you both still feel that connection, it's okay. So that's what I'm getting at. And not just communicating like we just talk all the time, but communicating your needs and who you
Yeah,
are as a person, and being okay if they need more, or just figuring out what's the perfect balance for your friendship, the love that you're trying to maintain with that person. So yeah.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense. So okay.
Hmm.
Um, I guess we're moving on to me.
Yeah. So what about you? What's the impact for you?
Okay, so the impact for me, my whole thing is you maintain relationships by maintaining yourself.
Yeah.
And I say this because previously, I would enter into relationships with people just because they accepted me,
Okay.
and then work overtime to maintain them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've come to realize that the more that I work on maintaining myself,
Mm-hmm.
that it really shouldn't be that hard. That the work was me not moving in my authentic nature due to fear, due to like this person rescinding their acceptance of my friendship.
I got you.
And I'm not doing that anymore.
Period.
Right. I feel like that isn't the work. Like, yeah, relationships take work, but that
Mm-hmm.
that shouldn't be it. And I feel like, platonic relationships and maintaining them should be about working with one another and not working for one another.
Okay.
And I feel like all relationships should be like that. So yeah, I feel like the love piece, it's about love of self. I feel like if you have love of self
Mm-hmm.
and you know what you want and you can communicate those needs to people, um, then you can enter into that relationship and you can give them what they need to be able to be a good friend to you. And then you know what it's like to validate and honor yourself. So then you're also able to extend that grace to them
Okay.
so that you can
Mm-hmm.
actually receive, their communication style, their needs, and then be able to weigh with yourself, like, okay, is this something that I can give? Is this something
Yeah.
I want to give?
Yeah.
And this is these are all like new developments for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because like before I came from a place where I was just a people pleaser. I'm like, whatever you want. And I didn't really take time to ask myself, well, what do I want authentically?
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of in this place where I'm realizing that all of my relationships, platonic, family, romantic relationship, the key is just for me to love me.
Yeah.
Um, and that like any just like any relationship that I'm going into, I'm making sure that it fits with me, because if it doesn't fit with me, then I can't be authentic.
Yeah.
And they're not getting the best relationship out of me. They're not even getting the real me.
That's true.
So that's where I'm coming from. Like I'm at this point where I'm realizing like my worth.
Mm.
And that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean somebody's lesser than me or anything like that. It's just like I know that I'm worthy of having meaningful relationships that align with my definition and align with my needs and with my wants. And I should be able to talk to my friends and say, okay, this is, I like this or I don't like that. And they should also feel comfortable doing that with me without me
Right.
feeling like it's going to blow my mask, blow my cover, just ruin the facade that I've set up. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like anxiety. That's what I don't want. I don't want the anxiety anymore of, oh, is this person not calling me because this, and this? It's like, what are you doing? What kind of relationship do you have with this person if you're that fearful of
Mm-hmm.
like interactions with them, or even fearful of just kind of clarifying things with them?
Yeah. Yeah.
So so that's where I am with it. That has been the impact for me, and just kind of reviewing this topic has really made me think about what I've how I've operated in my friendships, and I've just
Mm-hmm.
realized I've really taken them for granted. Like I have some really dope friends,
Yeah.
really dope curated group of friends, and they're still around me. Thank God. And because I don't, and I'm trying to give myself grace here. I feel like
Yeah.
I could be better. I could have been better,
Yeah.
um, of just kind of being more intentional and aware of the impact of these relationships in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
just, I was in a long-term relationship, a very long-term relationship, and that person was also my best friend. So it was so easy for me to feel like, okay, it's all in one. Like I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these other kind of friends I had, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll talk to you when I talk to you. Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then when that relationship ended, I'm like, oh, where are my friends? Like, I wonder what they're up to. And that's not really how it should be.
Right.
I think that's just more of me trying to kind of deal with codependency and like
Mm-hmm.
kind of just settling into like being an individual and all
Mm-hmm.
of that. But yeah, I'm just realizing that, man, that like I have some really, really, really good people around me, and I do need to put more effort into it. And it's not that I don't put effort in, but just I want to
Mm-hmm.
be more intentional about it. And I feel like the way that I do that is being more intentional with myself.
Yeah. I think that's really beautiful. I think it's really, I'm so sorry. Were you done?
I am done. I am.
Okay, I felt like that was the ending, and I was like, let me swoop in there because I really feel like that's so dope to have that recognition, and I think that's the beautiful thing about growth is just that it doesn't have to stay where it was. Okay, you weren't a great friend. Acknowledge and then move forward in a way that is both meaningful for you and your friendships. And I've had those conversations too. I've had friends be like, yo, my guy, like, where are you? And I'm like, whoa, I have been so in my own head. And it's not any fault of anyone else's. It's just sometimes life gets the best of you and you just in your own head, you just moving how you moving and not recognizing what that looks like to the people that you do genuinely care about. So I think being able to have those conversations with yourself, like that goes back into what you're saying about self-love, is just saying like, okay, it's okay. I haven't been a great friend. That's okay to say, and then moving to the place where you are and then doing that in a healthy way, which is not to say, oh, whatever you want, friend. It's to say, okay, how can we maintain this? What does this look like for us? What is healthy for me and for you? How can we keep this going? How can we maintain this? You know what I mean? And so I think that's really beautiful though, that you've had that assessment and kind of come to that place.
Yeah, like I've come up with a lot of new awareness, and that's definitely one of them. Like I wasn't doing it on purpose. Like I wasn't just kind of, shortchanging my friends. I really thought I was doing a good job. And
Mm-hmm.
then I had a friend, no, I still have this friend. She's my childhood best friend, and I was talking to her, and she just said out of her mouth one day, she was like, "You're a shitty friend." And I was like,
Oh man.
"What?" Because like I just didn't I was moving all over the place. I was living in different states and I just wasn't keeping up with her. Like I would come back home because she's from my hometown of DC, so I would come back home and I wouldn't see her. And like she was
Mm-hmm.
always reaching out to me. And it's like now I'm at this point where I'm like, man, I really wasn't a good friend. I got so wrapped up in my life
Mm-hmm.
and I just kind of forgot that these people were in my life for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I also forgot myself in my own life too. So like
Yeah.
that's part of it. So that's why. So yeah, that is, and she really started something. She planted a seed. I'm not gonna say I became like a great friend after that. It's
Mm-hmm.
taken some years, but definitely like that kind of started me thinking like, wait a minute, like okay, she feels this way. Have what other friends have I done this to?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
It's especially difficult when you move away, and that's why if you've got any long distance friends, it's important to have some sort of understanding of what is a good healthy balance for y'all, because to be honest, I'm very much in the moment type of person. So anytime I hang out with you, I'm just hanging out with you or whoever we're with. I'm not on my phone. I'm not trying to like do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just who I'm with. So that goes for where I'm living.
mhm.
I'm here and I'm living and I'm experiencing and all of that kind of stuff. So it makes it very difficult to sometimes be like, okay, you have people outside of here, go and do that. So I think it's okay that life goes on and does its thing. But then if you can ask her, like, okay, what do you need? What's up, friend? You need a once a week? You need a once a month? What's up? Can our heart react? Is that cool? Like, just these open conversations, open, because being closed about it is not going to get either of you, you know what I mean, what you need, or
so
not
that
having the
communication.
conversation at all, you
So that
know.
communication, and you know what? You're right. Communication for me has been very difficult. So
Hmm.
I definitely, yeah, just opening the floor for that communication. I do think is key in maintaining a relationship.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I have one friend, which she's not really, she's like an acquaintance, because I guess I didn't maintain that friendship. I
Yeah.
called her up one day. I really thought only 3 months had passed. She's like, it's been like 3 years since I spoke to you, right? Because
Oh my.
I do this thing where when I reach out to you, it's like no time has passed. Like I don't have any hard feelings because I haven't kept track of time.
Right.
So, and
3 years.
I'm like, no, no. And then she's like, yes, yes. And I was like, oh, wow. So what's up with you? Like, what y'all like to talk about then? You know,
Oh my God.
I
three
was
years.
shook. I was shook. I was like, no, that can't be. That cannot be. So yeah, as you can see,
Yeah.
after 3 years. So then, okay, so like, we did talk about that because one way that I kind of caught up with my relationship with my childhood best friend, not the 3 year one. That one's
Mm.
kind of in the rafters.
Yeah.
I feel like the phone has helped me a lot because
Okay.
I'm like, when it comes to like, I know I'm on this podcast and I, seem vulnerable and all of that, but I'm really like not that person. I'm not all like lovey dovey and like with this.
What?
No, I'm very sarcastic. I like to crack jokes. That's how I show love, right?
Wow, Rena. That's crazy.
Right, just like that, just like what you did. That's what I Um, so social media and Instagram and like having my phone has helped me because I'm like, I can send a meme, like, look at this, isn't this funny? Like, and
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
like my way of saying, like, I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
Like while I'm living my life scrolling through Instagram, I saw something that I thought you would think it's funny.
Hmm.
So here you
Yeah.
go. And then, that really does help me keep up with communication with people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's what I think is the beautiful thing about it is that if you have these healthy conversations, first with yourself and then with others, then you can, understand that, okay, maybe you are more of the send the memes. I don't be sending memes. I get the memes and I'm like, oh, that's sweet. And this is the other thing I used to tell like my friends and stuff. They would get so annoyed with the old people on our Facebook. Facebook is for the elderly. So,
Oh, wow. Are we judging? I'm not on Facebook. I agree with you. I'm just
listen, I'm on Facebook. It's okay. I'm just saying it's for
probably
older
more
people.
than me. So
I
probably
am because I have a lot of family on there, and they send me my cousin. One of my cousins, she's an older cousin, like near my mom's age, and she sends me "Have a terrific Tuesday" like little memes. Have a wonderful Friday. It's like a whole thing, and I know a lot of my family and a lot of my friends are so annoyed. They're so annoyed and bothered by it. And I'm like, listen, it's nothing. They're just saying, literally, I'm thinking of you.
yeah.
And that's how I take it. I don't give two flying fucks about the memes. It doesn't mean anything to me, except for to know that that cousin, that uncle, that aunt, that grandperson, all these people that's just showing you a little bit of love and a little bit of attention. And that's the way that they're doing it. Maybe it's not the best way, or the way you would or whatever, but to be able to reach out in this era, just take it and receive it. And that's how I do. I'll say that's what I do. I'm not gonna say that's what everybody has to do, but I just, just a little weight, a little nudge, a little nod, just saying, I thought about you today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sweet.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Okay. So now we're talking about maintenance
Okay.
with these relationships. Okay. What is the sign for you that like the relationship is like going downhill? That like, maybe you are not maintaining this the way you
Ooh.
thought you were?
For my like really close relationships, like my best friendships, because I have a few, we're to the place now where the communication is like, hey, what's up, you good, I haven't heard from you. And that is an indicator like, okay, I've been slacking, you know what I'm saying, because they
Okay.
know that usually I'm trying to maintain this at least every couple months we have some sort of large come together where we can talk about things. So for me, it comes in the form of questions as far as like, hey, you good, I haven't heard from you in a minute. And I'm like, okay, there it is. And then for people that I'm not quite as acquainted with, it just takes some getting used to it. I guess it just depends on the person. If I react the same way that I've been reacting and their reaction is different, and I'm like, okay, if it happens a couple times, I need to see a pattern. I like patterns. Let's say I like laugh at something they do and they don't react, most of the time I'm like, oh, okay, there's no big deal, whatever, they didn't. I'm not so pressed on how people react to me. But if there starts to be a pattern, like, okay, they didn't respond to any of the things that I said to them or any of the, then we can have that conversation, have the understanding, like, hey, have I offended you? Is who I am bothering you? Like, what's up? And more often than not, now that I know who I am, and this is kind of going back to the self-love piece, I know for a fact that I don't communicate well on the phone. I'm not going to be that friend that you can talk to every day. I'm just not. And so I say that initially meeting people, and I reiterate it so that that's not really an expectation that they have for me and our friendship. So if something starts to be, you just get vibes and differences of like language and how things are being said or what's being done. You know what I mean? Things like that. So I don't know. I guess it's just an assessment of each individual relationship.
Yeah. When I asked this question, I didn't even have an answer for myself. So I'm over
Wow.
here just trying to um no, I think, a lot of the communication I have with friends is through like, text messaging. Cause I'm not big on the reason why I'm not big on talking on the phone is because I talk a lot.
What?
So we gonna do this again?
Okay, sorry.
So I know I could go on and like 2 hours will disappear. And sometimes I don't have those 2 hours. And I don't want to set myself up because I will take those 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be taking those 2 hours. So I think like the sign for me, like you said, would be like if I feel like they're not responding the same. Like the text
Mm-hmm.
message just seems a little dry. I'm like, oh, there's
Mm-hmm.
no emoji. There's not even an LOL. Like, what are you doing here? I just feel like you just sucked all the life out of this. You're just like, K, like just one letter. Are you getting short with me? You know? So but then it's also like some people just think you have to know, like you said, who your friends are, and
Mm-hmm.
um know that like some people will just say K, like because I've done this where I'm like, huh, she didn't really respond. I wonder if she's mad. But then that's when that's when I think I realize I need to practice just calling it out. Like, hey, are
Mm-hmm.
we good? Like, are we good? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, and not try to internalize it and not try to
Yeah.
assume. I will go there and make myself the villain before anybody else could, and they really could just be busy. So it's
Right.
really, man,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't even know if I answered that, but hey, that's what I got. That's what's in my head. Like this topic really has me just like spinning in circles. I'm like, what is going on? I need to assess this.
Yeah, I mean, the truth of it is, for me, this is something that I think about a lot because I really value my friendships. It's one of the relationships that you have that is a chosen thing. Like you were saying, like I vibe with you just off the strength of you. There's no romance. I'm not trying to get anything from you. There's no familial like ties that we as a society feel like we have to keep those bonds up and things like that. When my family turns into friends, that's when our relationship is the best, honestly. So my brothers are my friends. Like we're siblings, but when we became friends is when our relationship was like really solidified. So I really value friendship because it's a choice. You don't have to choose me, and I don't have to choose you, and that's the main thing, you know. So I value it, and I really put a lot of emphasis on being a good friend because you didn't have to choose me, and I don't have to choose you, you know.
Mm, that's true. That is very
Yeah.
true. I had a question pop into my head, of course, and of course, I
Let's
don't
hear
have the answer myself. So, um,
it.
do you think it's possible to have a relationship with someone without friendship?
Yeah, we have relationships with people all the time.
Like a meaningful relationship. Now, I'm not talking about like, I guess like when you talk about your family, like, I mean, I don't know. Like for instance, with your parents, do you really do? I guess I'm trying to define what a relationship is for me. Like, can you call your parents an acquaintance? Like, I feel like
I don't. Okay, so I think you can have meaningful acquaintanceships.
oh my gosh, I feel
Okay,
like
so for me, an acquaintance is someone that you know. So now I live with people,
mhm.
and I'm on friendly terms with them. I enjoy their company. Um, if I leave this place and I don't ever speak to them again, I am okay with that.
Damn.
That's how I feel about an acquaintance. And it's not any hard feelings. There's no love lost. I will remember them fondly and be like, yo, that was a really great time in my life. But it's not anything deeper because a friendship for me is it's so deep. There's so much trust, there's so much love. And not to say that I don't love them, I love them in a very like humanistic way, but it's not like I like my friends, I would do so much for. Like, I would do so much for my friends. Like, I'm not even kidding. For my acquaintances, there are things that I would do, but I'm not about to go bend over backwards for you. I'm just not. So I think you can have meaningful acquaintanceships. You can enjoy people. You can, want to hang out with them while you're in their space. For me, an acquaintance is just, we are acquainted with one another. We're fond of each other enough to be in each other's space. You have that with coworkers or like, you know what I mean? Like your boss. You can have a very meaningful relationship with your boss, but that may not be your friend. I don't know. That's kind of how I'm like,
No, no, you're right. You're absolutely on track. And I think it's just highlighted the fact that like I need to come to a better understanding of relationships, period, and the different types of relationships for me and how I categorize people because I've been known to call like say the term friend very loosely. And so I think I need to tighten that up a bit. So
you know, I wasn't gonna judge you, but
okay, but you did though.
I mean, you were saying some stuff about people that I was like, I would not call that a friend, but that's just me. But we all have to come to it on our own terms and our own, understanding. So, yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with having different variants of relationship with people. You
Hmm.
know?
I mean, it's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's about about like that meaningful like friendship relationship. But yeah, you answered it. You answered
Okay.
it. I'm
Okay.
just confused.
We're gonna have to have a follow up at the end of the year.
Because
I
I'm
need to
just
have.
like, I need to work on this. I
All
really do.
right. I need you to have some progress by the end of the year.
I've had some progress. This is progress.
Okay.
You don't sound so concerned.
Listen, I don't want you out here calling randoms friends and expecting friendship shit from people that's just your acquaintance. And I think that's sometimes where we get into trouble as well. We get into these situations where we're expecting friendship shit from people that are not our friends. And it's not any harm or any ill will. And that's the thing too. Sometimes people feel like either you're a friend or an enemy. There's so much gray in between that there doesn't have to be friend or enemy in all people. No. Sometimes you're cool, you're fine, you're whatever. Doesn't mean you're my friend. You're also not my enemy, you know? You're just an acquaintance.
I think that's why I put so much emphasis on self-love and like knowledge of self because you have to
Mm-hmm.
understand what a friend is for you.
Yeah.
And I think that was where I was just kind of letting people just do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also trying to meet their expectations, but I never really had an understanding of my own expectations.
Wow.
So that is, I think that's why I'm so confused.
Okay. I got you. I got you.
But
I
I'm
mean, I
aware of.
think you're, yeah, and I think you're getting there. And I think it's beautiful that you're coming to this place where you're doing better by the people you want to do better by, and you're letting go of the people who don't serve you, and all of those things. I think it's beautiful, and it's healthy, and it's, maturity. It's all those things. Like, that's dope.
Yeah. Like I just like yeah, I'm just having all types of epiphanies. That's why if you just see me because I'm thinking about like, okay, like really, I'm like, why didn't I really think? 'Cause I didn't really put that much credit to my friendships. I'm like, okay, these are people that are cool to hang out with because, like I said, I had a long-term relationship, and then I had my relationship with my mother and my grandmother, and then like when all of that ended, that's when I was like, okay, so no relationships now. I have nothing. So I
Mhm.
think that has kind of been a catalyst for me trying to kind of understand platonic relationships more. Before I didn't
Mhm.
feel like I had to. I'm like, I have it all. I'm good. You
Right.
know. I guess I put all my eggs in like
One basket. Wow.
yeah, yeah. You should
Mm-mm. Wow, there's a whole saying about that. That's crazy.
wow, wow, wow.
Okay, so then are we to the cope now?
I believe so. So how do you
Okay.
cope?
How do I cope with all this? Well, I try my best to be honest with people, or as honest as possible with the people that I care about. Talking on the phone is hard for me. Initiating a phone conversation is probably not how I'll show my love to you. Like, that is something that I say frequently and often because I like people to know. Most likely, it'll be that I pick up when you call, and I'll give you some time. I'll give you some of my time, or I'll fly out to see your ass because a bitch like to fly, or I'll write you a letter. I cope by not beating myself up because I haven't called such and such person in a week or two. And instead, I'll send a text saying, like, hey, you're on my mind and I hope you're well. I cope by showing up consistently to the people who matter. So I had to learn myself. And I think that kind of goes back to your piece about self love and knowing what I can give and what I can't. I'm often overwhelmed by the amount of text messages that I need to reply to. You can ask me now, I'd be like, oof, okay, I gotta reply to this. And then now that I joined Instagram, so I'm very new to Instagram, y'all. I've only been on there like a year maybe. And that should be overwhelming to me. People be wanting you to reply instantly, and they like, I IG you, I message you. My guy, I'm not looking at that shit right now. I'm looking when I have time. And when I have time might be 2 days from now. Like, but it's such an instantaneous world that it's like, people expect that. So I have to know myself, and I have to give that expectation, or I have to know myself and give people an honest expectation of who I am. And if they want to vibe with that, then that's great. And if that means that they don't want to maintain a friendship with me, I also have to be okay with that. So really, I cope by grace, like we say all the time. I give myself grace. I give other people grace. I definitely give other people grace. If I don't hear from people for a while, I don't take any offense. Um, Life is life for everybody. So,
I mean, it's good to know that you're one of those people where like, it's not like you can dish it but you can't take it. It's
mhm.
the same. It's like, hey, if you don't reach out to me for a few weeks, hey, I'm just gonna say you okay or or
Yeah,
maybe not. So it doesn't bother you either way. So
yeah.
It just sounds like you cope by being you, which I think is dope.
Yeah, I try. How about you? How are you coping with all this? Because you had a
Uh,
bunch of epiphanies.
right. I cope by being aware.
Yeah.
I think that's the gist of it. That's the main thing. I cope by being aware, and by taking the time to define what a platonic relationship slash love is, and ask myself the questions that we've asked ourselves in this episode, and just really consider the platonic relationships I currently have and how they fit in my life.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, everything right now for me is really coming from like a me based perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's all about, okay, me being authentically who I am, figuring out who
Mm-hmm.
that is and moving in that. And then, hey, if that repels some people, I have to let them go, no hard feelings. But then,
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding more now that it's attracting people more. And then
Mm-hmm.
it's not so much work to maintain people, because I'm just
Yeah.
being me and they
Yeah.
just like who I am. And I don't have
Mm-hmm.
to try to guess and, coerce and like, finagle and all those things, to try to, be in a space with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, taking the time to ask myself what I want in a platonic relationship. And like I said earlier, if I'm willing to give what I want, and to take it a step further, am I willing to give it to this particular person? Like
Mm-hmm.
this person. Because like I can love myself and say, okay, like I do the stuff for me, so it's easy for me to do it for someone else. But like, do I really want to do this for this person? Is this person really in alignment with like what I want out of a friend? So
Mm-hmm.
really just digging down this topic, like that's what I'm gonna do after this. This is how I'm gonna cope. I'm gonna go and like journal or something and like just sit with this because I'm not ready. Like,
So you want to
and
be ready?
and it's okay. And it's okay. I think that's important for me to know that like you really need to think about this more.
Mm-hmm.
Because like really like these people, I chose these people. So why are you
Mm-hmm.
choosing these people? What do these people say about you and where you're headed? Like what's the point? What's the point of this relationship in your life? That's
Mm-hmm.
been a big question for me lately.
That's beautiful. Is that serving you well?
Yes, I believe so. I believe it
Wow.
is.
I like that. What is the purpose of this relationship? Is that
Yeah.
what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. I vibe with that. I vibe with that. I like it. Okay, so I think we're to the recap then, yeah?
Yep. Yes, we are. Take it away.
Okay, so to recap, after digging it down for herself, Rena realized that platonic love can only come after self love, and that maintaining it will come after understanding what she's willing to give to said relationships. And I similarly have found that open communication of my needs help me maintain better friendships. And help me to keep afloat the plethora of beautiful platonic relationships that I have. So that's been the episode. I think it's been a really fun one. I can't stress enough how grateful I am for my friends. They're so supportive and so kind and so caring, and they've been a catalyst for a lot of my growth as a human being. Like it's hard for me to believe people and understand people, because I am hard headed and I think I know everything. Um, so when my friends can't just be a random, can't be a platonic, but when my friends tell me some shit that I need to work on, I assess myself and I work on that shit. And I'm very grateful to them for, helping me grow up. Like it's amazing. I lost my mom at
Mhm.
19. I was nearly 20. It was like a little less than a month before I turned 20. And I had so much growing up to do, and so many of my friends have lent a hand and been really beautiful parts of me growing up and being a woman. And I'm so grateful to them. So that's my shout out today to my friends who have been my rock, my support, my a lot of things. So shout out to y'all. I love y'all so much. Y'all are the best.
That is so sweet. Like I almost want to cry. Like that is so sweet. Like seriously.
Yeah,
Wow. Your friends raised you.
they really did.
Wow. Like they
They
raised
really
you
did.
up.
Yeah,
Wow.
yep, yep. Just it's beautiful, and I hope that even if you just have one friend, that you are appreciative to them, and they're appreciative to you also, and that you guys are maintaining. I don't know. It's just something so beautiful. Like I said earlier in the episode, there. you're going to have more platonic love in your life than romantic love. And to be able to nurture that and to, grow it and to see how beautiful and beneficial it can be for both of you. I don't know. It's incredible. And it's something like magic. I feel like that's
Yeah.
like one of the most beautiful gifts from the universe. So, yeah.
Right. That's your tribe.
Yeah. So try.
That's your
Yeah.
tribe. Those are your folks, your people who like because you have like an aligned way of thinking, and
Mhm.
it's like they want the best for you. Just they want it
Mhm.
for you. Like it has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
They just want it for you. They want you to have your best life.
Yeah. It's something so magical about that. Like
Right.
what? Like and just I just think about even like just the people that I've met on this journey. It's just so weird. It's just like by happenstance. Like we just happen to go to the same college and happen to be the same major
Right.
or happen to be at the same event or it just it's wow. Even this podcast, we happen to go to the same conference. Of all conferences we could have gone to, of all of the seminars we could have participated in, we happen to participate in the same one. Like it's really
Same
beautiful.
one. You kept popping up everywhere.
You kept
So
popping up.
that's what I thought, like, because I would come in late. Well, yes, I would be me.
Right.
Just
Because
when I was
I'm
like,
on
okay, that's
time. I'm
here.
always on time.
I'm like, oh, hey, dang. Man.
Oh my God. Cut it out. That's hilarious. But
No,
yeah, it's beautiful. I love friendships and yeah.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right. I really like that too when you say that. Like, you're going to have a lot more platonic love than
Mm-hmm.
romantic love. So, yeah. So don't take it for
Yeah.
granted.
Don't take it for granted. So I guess are we headed to the meditation? Is that where we are?
Yeah.
Okay. If you are new, this is Jess's favorite part. That's me. I'm Jess. Um, okay, so we're gonna head to the meditation. What we'll do is take a couple deep breaths. We'll set an intention, and then we'll take another couple breaths, and then we'll let you go about your day. So what I want you to do is take a big deep breath with me. Take a second deep breath. Take one more deep breath. And now we will set our intentions. I intend to continue to be a good friend, to allow myself to be open and vulnerable, to always aspire to be better for my friends, with my friends, and to allow them to love me. And that is my intention.
Okay, for me, I'm just going to be more intentional, period, about my friendships, about thinking about what I want out of friendships, how I'm behaving in my friendships, and to just grow and evolve and move authentically.
I love that. All right, so we're going to take a last set of breaths. So take another big deep breath with me. We'll take a second deep breath. And we'll take a last deep breath. All right, your intentions have been set for the day. Go out there and flourish this today. It doesn't have to be a mess.
But it's okay if it is.
So, Liz, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in again. We appreciate your continued support. We love y'all. We love y'all so much. Y'all have been so active. We will still be bringing y'all some special cool things throughout the year. So please continue to follow us, like, share, do all the things you've been doing. We
Yeah,
appreciate it so much.
tell all your friends about us.
Yeah, tell them. We would love for them to know. Is that everything then?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we're going to catch y'all on the flip side.
Peace.
Peace.
It's a mess.
Hey, that's why
It's
I
a
can't
mess.
sing.
It's okay. He's gonna talk over my singing though. Okay, it's ready now.